you very well. Okay. Uh, let's start. Okay. Let me introduce myself. This is a Hello World program. I'm Reza and I'm a software engineer. We have been trying for a long time to produce English video podcasts with people from all around the world. And today we have a great guest from, I don't know, what's your
I'm
name?
from Brazil. My name is Erico. I'm from Brazil. I'm 27 years old, and I'm an English teacher here.
Fantastic. It's really nice to see you. You know, in fact, we had a lot of guests from Brazil. Brazil is a great land. Brazil, I don't know, I can say about Amazon rainforest, I can say about carnivals, delicious food, everything.
Yes.
It's a very, very great land. Okay, where are you originally from?
Well, so I'm actually from Brazil, like literally. I live here and I'm from here. My city name is Sabará. It's like very small, but it's near the capital city of my state, which happens to be Minas Gerais, my state.
Oh,
Yeah, so
yeah.
where else? So I'm from here.
Electronic Valley, is that right?
What? Sorry?
Electronic Valley.
Electronic Valley? What do you mean?
Uh, you know, I just heard Minas Gerais has a nickname and it is called
Ah,
Electronic
I
Valley.
well, it means something, but it doesn't ring a bell. I don't know if we have a nickname for that because Minas Gerais is not like really famous. People know Brazil more for the Amazon forest and for São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro, but Minas Gerais is not like a very relevant state. I would say so.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful, but it's not relevant.
Oh, am I right? There are a lot of electronic industries there in that state.
Yes, yes, there are. Yeah, we because we work a lot with gold and so on. So this is the state where probably we have uh, more gold in Brazil, like still an activity. Companies like Vale do Rio Doce and those that I'm not really sure if I can mention the name here because we're recording this. I don't know if that's
Oh
okay.
yes,
Anyway, so we have
I
those
know
big
how it
companies.
is.
So yeah, we do have those companies working a lot here. Like they really provide jobs over here.
Great. You speak very well. What's your qualification? What's your university degree?
Well, I have like I don't really know how to call this in English because this kind of degree here in Brazil is completely different. But I would say that I have a degree on philology or languages. I don't know how they would call that abroad actually, but here in Brazil it means that I am able to teach languages like English and Portuguese because I have like a double degree. It's possible to do that here in Brazil and also literature like English literature and Brazilian literature. So those four possibilities. That's
Oh,
my degree.
great. You know, I know a lot about Brazil nature, movies, everything, but I don't know anything about those kind of literature and something like this. Tell me about that in Brazil.
Well, uh, I'm crazy about Brazilian literature. Honestly, for me, it's one of the best in the world, if it's not the best. Um, my favorite author would be Machado de Assis. Definitely.
Oh,
I don't know if you heard of him, but actually, uh, that's a failure. But I don't really know any of his books in English. I know that he's the. Oh no, we have Paulo Coelho too. Yeah, Paulo Coelho is very famous all over the world. He's a Brazilian author, but um, I don't like him very much, to be honest. So I prefer Machado de Assis other than. But Machado de Assis is also very translated all over the world, and he has amazing books. Um, the way he writes is very, very honest, and he's truly an artist. I feel like when he's writing, he's like a painter. Um, and he's just creating the beautiful painting but with words that's how I
oh,
feel when I'm reading him, and he sort of portrays Brazilians reality from his age, obviously, because he's been dead for a while now. But well, he sort of portrays that in a very unique way. He's very unique. That's why I'm absolutely crazy about him. And I also like other ones like Clarice Lispector, which is very respected here and famous, especially because she's a woman. And for a woman to write like she does, and she has a very psychological view on the characters, and somehow, I mean, I know her biography, so I kind of feel that her characters, they are built to sort of represent what she feels and how she feels on the world and the way she sees the world. And it's amazing. It's amazing. I like this kind of literature because Brazilian literature, they sit down and just they think it through. Like they think about the text as sort of a way to reach a goal that probably they don't really know what the goal is, but they know how to lead us to that goal. That's fabulous. So I absolutely love it, and it's very realistic. We have good
Yes,
fiction.
very interesting. I'm really happy to hear that because I just heard about Brazilian soccer, nature,
Oh
delicious food,
no.
and yes, and it's very new to me. Okay, great. And I think your land, I mean Brazil, has a very great history. Tell me about the history of Brazil. I
Uh,
just heard of some specific things in Wikipedia, but I wanna hear this kind of history from you. Tell me about the
well,
Brazilian history.
yeah, sure. I mean, do you want it from the very beginning, like when Brazil was first discovered? So we were colonized by Portugal. I would like to send hugs to them that colonized us. And well, so we speak Portuguese. Most people think that we speak Spanish, but we don't. We speak Portuguese because we were colonized by Portugal. And Brazilian history, I think it's made on fights,
Wow.
fights for ideals, fights for people's truth. I would say we are
Yeah.
warriors, like us people. We are warriors because we live in. I know that you are from a different nationality, but I have to say that Brazil is the most beautiful country in the world. I'm so sorry, but it is. I
Yes, I
love
know, I know.
Brazil. I love Brazil very much, and we are really proud of that. But more than this, I think we should be proud of our people because we are survivors. We are survivors because from the very beginning we were explored. We were like slaves and all those bad things that they could do to people. They made us speak a completely different language, and they just prohibited us to speak our own language and to express ourselves in the way that we were supposed to from the very beginning because we had people living here, and yet we survived. And now we are like a beautiful people and a beautiful mixture of all the cultures in the world because we also have this, we are very welcoming people. Like when you come to Brazil, you feel like you're Brazilian, you feel like a king because we treat everybody unbelievably amazing. And I had
Yes, you are right.
I've had, yeah, and I've had the opportunity to live abroad a while and to get to know some countries. And from this experience, I can totally say that Brazilian people, we are different. We treat people different. We like to be um, warm, I would say, and that's because of this long history of fights and things we had to overcome. I mean, corruption from the very beginning of our history, and the slavery that was very bad, and
Yes.
many other things that we had to overcome now to become the country that we are, and we are trying to become. We are improving scientifically and intellectually. I think we've been growing in this sense. But i'm I'm crazy about Brazilians history because it tells the history of people who fight. We fight
Oh,
all the
yes,
time.
you are right. In fact, I think maybe all of the America continent has the same story, because also USA in the past were colonized by French peoples, I don't know, English peoples, and this kind of thing.
Yeah,
And also
Spanish.
yes, and also in other countries like Asia, maybe in my country, you can find it the same history. Yes, I'm really happy to hear that. Thank you so much. Okay, let's talk about customs and traditions in your state.
Oh,
I know about Brazilian carnivals, food festivals, and this kind of thing. But tell me about unique and special events in your state.
well, Brazil is very diverse, like because it's huge. It's huge. Brazil is very big, and I mean in terms of land extension, it's big, really big, and we have very different cultures from state to state, completely different. Sometimes we can't even understand each other. I mean, the body language and stuff because it's very diverse, and we have all those mixtures that I was talking about when I mentioned the Brazilian history. And in my state specifically, we are a very religious state. I would say
Oh,
that
yes.
we have a lot of historical cities, like mine, for example, Sabará, is when I mean historical, it's like it's really preserved from the old times, like from the 1800s. We
Yes,
still have buildings.
you know, and I heard one of the name of Brazil is the land of Holy Cross.
Yes, 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 it is. Yes, it is because the first, as I said, we were colonized by Portuguese and Portuguese people. And Portuguese people, they had the Catholic faith very strong in their country, and they brought that with them. So we kind of started the country with a mass, a service. I don't really know how to call that. In I mean, my service, I don't know how to call that in English because I'm Roman Catholic. And in my state specifically, it still remains like the same. We have a lot of traditions that are related, deeply related to religion, to the Catholic religion specifically, like holy days. We have this very interesting thing here that Roman Catholic people, they celebrate the Holy Week. We celebrate the Holy Week, and the Holy Week is very iconic here in my city specifically because us people we walk through a path that the church says that we should, like they first organize it, and then we have to go to through this path, and we dress like those people from the Bible,
Oh,
and we
yes.
walk from a church, from one church, because we have many churches here, like many, like a lot of churches, and we walk from one church to another church praying during the way and dressed in like old people's clothes, like we sort of role play the character. So someone can play Jesus, for example. So Jesus will walk through this path that the church set
Oh,
first, and from a church to another, and we are praying and making reflections, talking about the Bible. I mean, the priest talks about the Bible, and we have a lot of songs that everybody sings together.
oh,
Everybody with a candle in the hands. It's beautiful, like it's beautiful. And so Minas Gerais is well known because we are very uh, traditional when it comes to religion. So religion is very,
mm,
very strong. The Roman Catholic religion is really strong here in my state
yes.
specifically.
Very interesting, you know, it's very interesting. And I know a lot of people all around the world know Brazil with that big statues, Jesus big statues in Rio.
Yes, Christ the Redeemer. You mean yes?
Yes. You know, it's a sign of Brazil, I think.
Yes, it
And
is.
some people think Rio is the capital of Brazil, but it's not.
Yes, I mean even some Brazilian people think so. I would say
Oh, really?
because yeah, because Rio is like really famous. Like even for us, Rio is what it is. Even for Brazilian people, and of course, like when we are young, we don't know that Brasilia is actually the capital of Brazil. So we kind of use our reference, what we know, what we see on the media, and like the big TVs here, they are the I mean the TV channels, they are either in Rio or in Sao Paulo. So we kind of feel like, where do I live? Like, is Rio Brazil? Like when we're kids, like because they talk a lot about Rio here. So everyone think. Oh, another thing that people have like a stereotype is that Brazil has beaches all over. It's not
Oh
true. My
yes.
state, for example, we don't have beaches here. We don't see the sea. We don't see the ocean. We have to travel to see the ocean.
But
Yeah.
I have a question. Beaches, people can use beaches, or they are safe?
Yes, they are. I mean, you.
But I
Of
heard.
course. Please
Uh,
don't take your phone and like just show off because that's not gonna be a good sign. But well, it's not the way people say. I can
but
tell you
I no
that.
no no no. I just heard there are a lot of sharks in beach.
Oh no, it's only no shark about sharks. Cool. You have to worry about the thieves. I mean, sharks are okay because sharks are only upstate. I think like the northeast of Brazil, specifically Recife.
Oh
Recife is
yes,
a very
receive.
yes, specifically there. There you have to worry. The other beaches you just have to worry about the thieves. So,
Oh. And Recife is the capital of carnivals. Is that right?
well, that's a tricky question because Recife has a very because what happens with Carnival? I don't really know. What do you think it's Carnival? Let me just hear it from a foreigner.
I just see. I think this just a kind of ceremony which people gather together and they do some special things like dancing, like drinking, and this. I just know this. Is that right?
Yes, it is, but I think that
You know,
internationally, Carn.
to be honest, I just saw the carnival in the Rio animation.
Oh my goodness, really? But well, that's what happens. But what you saw in Rio, like the animation, it's like it happens all over the country in almost every city. So it's
Yes.
very complicated to say that we have like a capital for it for carnival because we have some very famous carnivals. For example, Recife has one specific type that it's based on a dance they call frevo. It's very interesting and colorful dance, and well, it's interesting. I've never been there because I particularly don't like carnival. I know it doesn't sound
Why?
Brazilian, but yes, I don't like it. And we also have Salvador as the capital of the carnival. I would say it's very famous. Like in Salvador, carnival lasts like 7 days.
Oh,
7 days
7 days.
straight, yes, 7 days of celebrating and people singing for hours and hours non-stop. Yeah, and we also have Rio and São Paulo with very big carnivals too. um, those I would say those are the capital of carnival. Maybe we can't just pick one. And as I said, carnival happens in almost every single city because it's a very popular party. Everyone goes to the street. Like even if you don't have an organized carnival, like if the city hall doesn't put money for people to go um, and dress up in costumes and like just stand for an idea, which happens with the escolas de samba. Um, People go dressed in costumes anyway and making fun of everything. That's carnival. So
Oh,
it happens all
yes.
over the country. It's a very
Oh,
happy time, but I don't like crowded things, so I don't go to carnival because it's always crowded. Like the city's crowded, too
oh,
crowded.
great. Very interesting. Okay, okay. Let's talk about delicious things. And now it turns to foods. Tell me about favorite foods in your state. I heard about that famous food in Brazil, which is made by black beans. Tell me about other
Yes,
foods.
feijoada. Feijoada. We love feijoada. Brazilian people love feijoada. Feijoada is made with and it has a lot of connections with our history because feijoada was first created by the slaves because they wanted um, to take all the pork, like they had the pig, the white people that had money and owned the slaves, they only had the good parts of the pig, and the rest of the pork, they just threw away. So slaves created this dish to sort of use the meat that was gonna be thrown away and just have food, and they created feijoada. It's made of black beans and pork, basically. And we generally eat with rice and oranges. Oranges cut in slices. Oh my goodness, it's delicious. It's delicious. We also have another popular one named feijão tropeiro. To be honest, I don't know where feijão tropeiro is from, but feijão tropeiro is also made with beans. So it's
Oh,
basically like beans, a lot of meat, and but it's a dry bean. It's not like it's not juicy. It's dry, and we dry it with flour, a specific type of flour, and we eat feijão tropeiro with rice because everything in Brazil is rice and beans. So we eat with
oh,
rice, and yes, we eat rice and beans. If you come to a Brazilian and ask him, "What did you have for lunch or for dinner?" we will say rice, beans, and anything else. But rice and
yes.
beans are part of our daily routine. Like every Brazilian house has rice and beans. That's what we call food. And some people, if you say that you didn't have rice or beans, they would say to you that you didn't have lunch or dinner, like my father. Yeah, if
Very
I tell my
interesting.
father, yeah, if I tell my father, Dad, I'm married, so me and my wife we had pizza for dinner. So no dinner. That's what he was going to ask. If I ever come to him and say that because it's very traditional, and well, I was talking about feijão tropeiro. It's delicious. We eat it with maybe a fried egg and rice and also um, cabbage together. Yeah. Oh
Oh,
my God, delicious. Oh my goodness. Yes. In Minas Gerais specifically, we have something that we call pão de queijo. Pão de. Oh my, I'm speaking port. How does Portuguese sound for you?
no, it's cool.
Oh,
After that video, I searched about all of these things.
okay.
I'm really, I'm really interested to hear that.
Yeah, pão de queijo, it's delicious. For me, it's one of the best food that Brazil has, and it's from my state. So, yes.
Great.
Well, pão de queijo is made, it's like, how can I explain that? Because it's a very specific recipe. Um, anyway, it seems like, because I can't explain the flavor because it's unique, but it's made basically like bread and cheese together in the oven. So
Oh,
it's delicious. We
oh
love
my
it.
God. It has cheese.
Yes.
I
It,
think cheese is it's very expensive in your country. Is that right?
so, depends on the cheese. Some cheese are, some cheese are not. But pão de queijo is made with cheap cheese, not expensive cheese.
Okay. You know,
Yeah, you can't use like gorgonzola to make pão de queijo. Pão de queijo is because the simplicity of pão de queijo is what makes it delicious.
yes. I had a conversation with a boy from Pernambuco, and he told us
Ah,
the most expensive thing in the food market was potato and cheese. And I was
really?
amazed at that. Yes, and I was amazed at because potato is the most inexpensive thing in our country.
Well, I don't know how it is like up there, but here in Minas Gerais, it's not. Like cheese here for us. But that's because we produce a lot of cheese in Minas Gerais. Maybe that's why. and we potatoes are very cheap here too. So I don't know why he said that. Maybe he was talking about Ruffles. I don't know. Like,
Oh, great. Yes.
because
You said about beans and delicious food, and I know Brazil is one of breadbasket countries. It has a lot of greens. It has a lot of specific beans, like I just heard of black beans in Brazil. I never see black beans in my country. And also, I know there is a kind of specific beans which is just made in Brazil, which is called vanilla beans. It's so expensive in USA.
yes, yes, it's true. It's true. But beans for us are like water. We have a lot of bean.
Yes.
So
Yeah, you have coffee. Coffee is so cheap in your country, but you can't
yeah.
believe coffee is so expensive in our country. Let me tell you something interesting. Just last week I bought around 100 grams Starbucks coffee, and it cost around $20.
What? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. Oh my goodness, I can't believe that. Because like coffee for us, it's like I'm drinking coffee right now. Like
Oh, yeah.
coffee, we drink a lot of coffee. We do. And me specifically, oh my god, like I drink more coffee than water, and I know that's bad, but I do.
Oh, yes. Tell me about favorite drinks in your country. I know about coffee. Tell me about other favorite drinks in your country. For example, in my country, people usually drink hot tea. Sorry. Okay, for example, in my country, people usually drink hot tea. Uh, and yes, that's it. What is the most favorite drink in your country, except
Beer, beer, coffee and beer. Yes. Well, but the thing is, as I said, due to Brazilian's extension, like our territory, so each state, I believe, that has some specific taste or preference on drinks, and we have two very famous ones that I've tasted. I don't like any of those, but people from the south of Brazil, they do. It's named chimarrão. It's a tea, a hot tea, but it tastes like herb. Like it doesn't have a good taste for me. It's bitter, so I don't like it. And we also have one that it's called tereré. Tereré, actually, tereré, which is also popular in Paraguay because
oh,
we're neighbors. We're neighbors. And well, yeah, and tereré and chimarrão, they are similar, but tereré is cold and chimarrão is hot. But if I have to mention one apart from coffee, I will say beer. Brazilian people love beer. I
great.
don't like, but people do.
Great, very fantastic. And now it's turn to landscape questions. I know a lot about Brazil landscapes, Amazon rainforest, and I heard a lot about this kind of beautiful landscapes in your country, in Espirito Santo, in Pernambuco, in Sao Paulo, in all of the state. But I've got a very interesting question. People in Brazil usually travel overseas to see jungles and rainforests.
Not
You know,
really.
yes, I know. Caribbean islands is very close to your land. People in Brazil usually go there.
No, not really. Brazilian dream is to go to Europe or the United States. We don't go much to the Caribbean islands because I think that when we go to a Latin country, we're like brothers. So it doesn't really seem like we're going abroad. It seems like we're just like it's an extension of Brazil.
Oh
That's why
yes,
I don't think we go.
I'm sure in Europe the nature is not so interesting. What is the
No.
interesting thing in Europe for Brazilian people?
Well, I think That's a very interesting question because I've never thought of it. Uh, I believe that it has more to do with the human idea of wanting to have what we can't have. So for us, for example, having the Amazon rainforest or having a lot of um, natural
Beaches. Yes,
resources,
beaches.
it's yeah, in animals, all the like variety of things. It's just okay because we see that every day. But when you go to Italy, for example, and you see like the Pisa Tower, oh my God, that's a totally new country. Because when I went to Europe, for example, I didn't want to see forests. I wanted to see people and buildings and beautiful cities, but cities. I didn't want to see any nature because I see that a lot here in Brazil. So I think
Oh,
that that has more to do with this human thing of wanting to have what we don't have commonly, to get out of what is ordinary and see something extraordinary. So we kind of search for something that it's completely different from our reality. That's why I guess it's just a
very
guessing.
interesting. Yes, yes. In fact, you mean maybe people go there for architecture, palaces, and this kind of things. Yes, yes.
Yes,
Great.
yes.
You said about Brazil animal species. I know Brazil is the land of parrots, and I watch real
Yes.
animation. I know there is some unique species animals. Is there like I can't remember the name of that bluebirds, blue parrots. I think it
Macaw.
has
Macaw.
yes,
In English,
macaw.
it's macaw, yes.
uh, to tell me about animals and nature things, animal species in your state and your country. You know, I know about piranhas, which is you can find in Brazil rivers and lakes.
Mm.
I know about jaguar. I know
Yeah.
about parrots. Uh, but tell me about other animals, other unique animals which we can find in Brazil.
A unique animal that we can find in Brazil. Oh, God. Um, we have
Have you ever go?
monkeys.
Oh yes. Have you ever go to the Amazon rainforest?
Not really. I mean, in the opposite of what people think of us abroad, the Amazon rainforest is not the only thing that we have in Brazil. Like, we have cities and big cities, and those big cities, it's not possible to see that variety of animals. But we have a very like we have a lot of different habitats for these animals. We have besides the Amazon forest, we also have Pantanal. Pantanal is very famous. We have I think those are crocodiles. I think
Oh
because I
yeah.
don't really know the difference, to be honest. I don't know the difference between crocodiles and alligators. So we have those reptiles in Pantanal and a lot of those. We also have flamingos, but monkeys. I think monkeys would be the same. In my state specifically, we have an animal that now is the symbol of the um, 200 coin, which is
Oh
lobo guara, which is a species of wolf, a very specific one. They
yes.
are really similar to dogs, and they are endangered. And it's they are beautiful, and they live around here. But you have to go to a calm place to be in touch with those animals. They are not like I live in an apartment, for example. So when I look at the window for my apartment, I see other buildings. I don't see like the forest. So I have to go somewhere to be in touch with the forest. It's not like all over the country. Monkeys, yeah,
Sorry.
monkeys are all over the country.
Yes. Sorry. Usually you see a lot of parrots in your country.
Not as much as you think. I mean, because parrots here they are more like a pet. So people have parrots. Macaws, yes, you can see macaws, but if you go to a calm place, like if you go to the forest, but you have to go there. They don't visit the city because there is a
Yes.
specific type of species of monkey, a very very little one, monkey that if there's trees in the city, probably they will be there, like in parks. They are very common here, but they don't go on the streets. So you have to be in a place where you can see a lot of trees, such as the parks, as I mentioned. And here in my building, there's a space here specifically where there are a lot of trees, and it's like a huge garden for the owners to go there, and we can see monkeys there, but they are okay. They're just little monkeys, very cute ones, actually.
Oh yes, 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 yes. A lot of unique animals. I saw in Rio animation there was some sort of animal trafficking in Rio.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
right?
Unfortunately, because as we have like a lot of species, they are very rare all over the world.
Yeah.
So people pay a lot for those animals. A
Oh yes.
lot.
Let me tell you something interesting. I remember I watched in a scene in a BBC documentary from Amazon rainforest. There is some very unique lizard species in Amazon rainforest, which is called dragon lizard. Those lizards can fly.
Ah,
Can
yeah. Yes, the one that goes like,
yes,
uh-huh, yes, yes, it's true. It's
it
true.
was very interesting. And in some country, and specifically in USA, people have some exotic pets like lizard. How about Brazil? In Brazil, people usually have pets.
Yeah, dogs. I think almost everyone has a dog. Dogs, cats. Uh, we also have some sort of exotic pets, like snakes. I don't.
Oh my!
Yeah, yeah. But people sometimes can have snakes and lizards. Those are very common. Iguanas. Yeah, some people have
Iguanas?
iguanas. Yeah, it's a reptile. It's a big lizard. People have it at home. Some people, I mean, not everybody. I mean, it's more common to have dogs. I think in Brazil we may have more dogs than people. I think a lot of
Hey,
people. Yeah, we love dogs.
you said about a snake. I want to confirm this. I just heard from a guy which said some people in Brazil eat a snake meat. Am I right?
Snake means what? What you mean?
A snake meat.
Ah, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's not like a beef or a steak, or you can get that on McDonald's. No, we don't have like snakes hamburgers, but it's possible. It's possible to. I've heard that some people tried it, but it's like in very rural areas. No, not like
Yes.
you can't go to a restaurant and just order like snake meat. No, you can't do that. Yeah, but some
I
people
know.
from
I,
like countryside may. Yeah.
Yes, I know Brazil has a lot of heritage. It's has a lot of meat industry. In our country we have Brazilian meat, which is imported from Brazil, and I think beef meat, sheep meat is so cheap in your country. Is that right?
Um, Not that cheap, but I mean chicken. Yeah, cheap, really cheap, chicken. That's why we eat chicken a lot. Um, but I can't tell you that because Brazil, we produce a lot, but the life cost here is really high in general. But I think it's a country problem. I don't think it is due to the production itself. I think it's due to corruption and so on. And it's sad to say
Okay.
that because, as I mentioned, I absolutely love Brazil very much. So, yeah.
You have mentioned a very good point. I've got a question. If I would want to go to your estate as a tourist, how much does it cost to stay for 1 week there? Tell me in dollar.
For for a week, that would mean something like it really depends on the place where you're at, because if you go, Brazil has a lot of difference according to the place where you're at. If you go to Rio, for example, Rio is very expensive for tourists, very. So if you want to spend a week, so save at least like and I'm talking about a dollar that is really high now in comparison to reais. You can spend like $3,000, maybe $3,000, which is a lot because it means like at least 20,000 of our money to have a good
Oh,
experience. To have a good, I mean, when I say good experience, is like go to good restaurants and stay in a good hotel and visit beautiful places. Because of course you can go there by like you can just Airbnb something or whatever, but I'm not sure if it's going to be the experience that you're looking for. So it depends exactly on what is your desire. What experience do you want for yourself? Do you want to be like more adventurous or do you want to be more fancy? So that's the point. It can vary a lot, and especially depending on where you're at, as I said. Because if you come to my city, it's really cheap, and it's a beautiful city, but you don't have much to do. Actually, only to visit like some historical heritages and churches, very old churches. And, we receive people from all over the world, but we don't have much to do here. Like in Rio, for example, they have plenty of options. So it depends on where you're going. I'm
yes.
talking too much. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
very
no, no, no,
talkative.
no. No, no, no. I'm really happy. Thank you. Thanks so much. It's really nice it's nice of you to say that. You said about Rio, and I know Rio has a lot of tourist attractions. But to be honest, I know Rio with the City of God movie. Did you watch that movie?
Ah,
Famous
yes,
movie?
of course I did. Yes, of course I did. We have this one that is very famous. We also have Tropa de Elite. Have you heard of it? Like, I don't know the name in English of that movie. Oh, that's a pity. It's like troop, police troop. I don't know. Yeah. Well, anyway, if you know the God City, that's enough for now. Well, and yeah, that shows a um, very truly reality of Rio sometimes in some favelas. Unfortunately, yeah,
Oh, yes.
that's
Paola, yes.
it's a beautiful city, but it has um, cons. If you know what I mean.
Yes. Uh, if you want to suggest a movie which really describes the Brazil land, territory, customs, and tradition, what's your suggestion?
Good question. I love Brazilian movies. It depends on what's your favorite type of movie. Like, what's your favorite genre of movie?
Uh, Not a special things. I just want to know about Brazil territory, customs, and traditions. I'm not big fan of movie.
Ah, okay. Because we have some comedies. Ah, okay. This one is classic. It's named O Alto da Compadecida. It's I think it shows our reality as just as it is, like old reality, and from a specific point of Brazil, as I said, because it's really hard for a movie to sort of pull everything together. because Brazil is huge and it's very different culturally. But I think this O Alto da Compadecida shows a lot about our religious tradition and the way we treat each other, the way that we relate to each other. And there is clearly like shown to the screen what we call jeitinho brasileiro, which sort of a way that we have to, just get rid of our problems. And sometimes we create problems doing that, but that's what Brazilian people do sometimes.
Oh, very interesting. Great, great. Thank you. And you're a fan of literature. If you want to suggest a book about Brazil, what is your suggestion?
A book about Brazil. Um, to our current reality or in general?
In general.
In general, I would say Machado de Assis, Memórias Póstumas de Brás Cubas. I can type that for you a bit later.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I would suggest that. I think we still have a lot of that society that Machado de Assis described.
Yes, yes. You are a Brazilian boy, and I think you are very proficient in soccer.
Whoa. Uh, oh my God, that's a very mean stereotype because when I was in Europe, for example, I never felt like I was a Brazilian because I can't play soccer, I can't
Oh
dance
my.
samba, I can't do any of those Brazilian things that people have as stereotypes. The only thing I know how to do is to speak Portuguese. So that's the only thing I have. But one thing, I mean, I can't play soccer, but uh, I think the cultural aspect on soccer is specifically that a Brazilian always has a soccer team, even though if you don't, if you, even though you don't like soccer. For example, I'm not like a really fan of the sport, but I have a team that I cheer for. Everyone has. It's like a religion. Everyone has, and it's okay. Like we also make fun of each other. Like if my team, for example, beats yours, I will come to you like, ah, we do that all the time. But I do really like soccer, and I can't play it. And I think I don't like it because I can't play it. I'm sort of frustrated with it.
Oh yes, very. I really like Brazilian soccer. They are so proficient, and specifically about street soccer. I just saw
Yeah.
some videos about street soccer in Brazil. They play very well. I can't believe. I think maybe this is one of the most famous thing among all of the Brazilian boys, and maybe in
Yes.
among Brazilian girls.
Yes, I mean, I'm not sure about the girls, but about the boys, definitely, because we are very stimulated. I think we are even over stimulated to play soccer since we are very little. Like, our first gift is a soccer ball,
You know,
ever.
I heard something interesting. I just want to confirm this. I heard in some region, and especially in favela regions in Brazil, boys are really like soccer, but sometimes they play with coconut as a soccer. Uh, sorry,
Soccer ball? Soccer ball?
yes, soccer ball. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Is that
yeah,
right?
that can happen. I mean, it's not that common because it's really easy and cheap to get a soccer ball here because it's very popular. But it's possible. Some people that don't have money enough to do that, they create balls over anything, over socks, over like old t-shirts. You can do a ball with using every single thing that you want. But it's very we have a lot of social programs that stimulate soccer and sports, like not sports in general, but basically soccer, some martial arts and volleyball are very popular here. So we have some social projects that stimulate that. It's very hard for a person not to get a soccer ball here because it's
Oh,
cheap and because everybody's like giving balls away. Like they
yes.
do that.
Great, great, great. Um, Another question. I don't know. I don't know. You know about it or not. I also heard uh, cosmetic surgery. It has a lot of fans in Brazil.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell me about that.
I've never been through one, as you can see. Like I'm, I'm just the way God made me. But yeah, yeah, Brazilian people are a fan of those kind of surgeries. Yeah, silicones
Oh,
and some static procedures in the face. Yeah.
yes. And what is the favorite subject and fields in universities among Brazilian students? You know, suppose in our country, medicine field and engineering is so famous among students. How about Brazil?
Yeah, yeah, I would say so too. Here in Brazil, like we have medicine, we have engineering, like all the types of engineering, but specifically the civil engineering, and maybe laws. Law school is very popular here too.
Oh, yes. How
And we
about
have a lot
farming?
of corruption. How come? I don't
Oh
know.
my gosh.
Yeah, I don't.
Brazil has a lot of heritage. Tell me about the economic situation in your country.
Uh, well, I think due to the pandemic, things are bad. Some people lost their jobs, but in a general way, I think we've improved a lot. I can tell that by my own uh, history, my personal history, because I come from a very poor family. My father and my mother, I mean, my mom is a teacher. And my father used to be a bus driver. Now he's retired, and and I also lived with my grandfather that was sick. So, like a lot of the money of the house used to go to his medicines and to his caring, because he had to have a doctor, not a doctor, but a nurse with him most of the time to take care of him in his special needs. And my mom didn't work because she was taking care of me and my brother, and also taking care of my grandfather. And the only money that we had was the money that my father could provide by driving buses. And a bus driver in Brazil doesn't make that much money. So I come from a very poor reality. But when I was on around 15 years old, I think I was around 15 years old, things started to get better for me. So I had a better education, and I had the possibility of going to college, and I didn't pay for it like the government did. So this period in Brazil, I think, was like the best one that I can remember, because I saw the financial situation of my family just improve quite a lot. And now I make good money with my teaching career. And my brother also has a degree in engineering, and he's well in his job. My father is retired. Now he has his own business with vans. And my mom keeps on teaching because a teacher never stops teaching. So
Oh, yes.
I saw the situation improve a lot in my family, but we still have a lot to do. A lot. A lot. Now, nowadays, going to a university for Brazilian people is like everyone can do that now. Everyone, because in the past it was restricted to just a few people. I would say that. Yes, only rich people could do that. So I would never even dream of living abroad or either speaking English. Because speaking
Yes.
English here in Brazil, it's sort of a synonym of someone who has money. I don't have money, but I mean now I'm okay with money, but I'm not rich. And I started speaking English when I wasn't rich. I wasn't rich, and I'm not rich now, but now I can do whatever I want with my money. And we sort of have this stereotype here, and it's things are possible, but I think that Brazilian people should change a little bit the way of they see the a little bit of the way they see things. So maybe now we have more opportunities, but we need to embrace those opportunities more.
Uh-huh.
That's what I think. And
Yes.
I can't say anything about this the current president because I can't say anything
Yes,
about
I
him.
know how you feel. I know how.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you. So I don't have
Uh,
to.
yeah. And the final part, the final question. In our country, people really like in politic things. Every day they talk about politics, this kind of thing. They really follow politic subjects in mediums, TVs, and this kind of things. What is the most favorite things which Brazilian people are in?
Sports.
Oh,
Sports. Yes, sports. I mean, the political debate has changed a little. And now we discuss it. Now we talk about it. Now we go to social media and just speak about things. We speak about the Black lives. We do talk about that. We talk about feminism. We talk about those things. But I have to say that we do talk a lot about that. But when it comes to sports, everyone gets united here. Everyone.
great.
It's yeah.
Very
It's which
impressive.
is yes. It's a very good aspect of our culture. But I feel like sometimes the government uses it as a tool, such as they did in the Roman Empire. So they sort of like give us soccer for us to stop talking about the things that really matter. And I sort of feel like they use soccer this way. But I just have to say that. Yes, sports, those are our favorites, our favorite topics related to sports. All sports. We love sports. I mean, not we, but Brazilian people love sports. I don't like sports much, actually.
Great, great. That was a great session. I really enjoyed and I really learned a lot about Brazil. Any question?
Well, I would like to hear more from your culture, actually. Like,
Yes,
what can
yes,
I
yes.
do if I go to Ireland? What can I do there?
Yes, in fact, we have a lot in common with Brazil. We have religious people. Official religion in our country is Islam. Maybe you
Mm-hmm.
heard about it.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Uh, we have beautiful natures, but not that much same as Brazil. We have rainforest, we have desert, we have beaches. You can find all of these things together. Uh, and also we have a lot of delicious food. Maybe some of these foods you heard of about this. Some like kebab. We have a lot of sort of kebab. We have a lot of food which is made by eggplants, maybe 50 foods made by eggplants.
What?
Yeah.
50. Oh my God. I don't even like eggplant. So I don't know. What do you do with it? You mentioned like your favorite dish with eggplant.
uh, they just produce this food with combination with other species, in fact there is some sort of food which is combined with rice and eggplants and eggs, this kind of thing. Maybe you heard the name of baba ganoush. It's a very
Oh,
famous Middle East.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I
But baba
actually
ganoush
didn't
is
know that
made
it
with.
was from Iran, is it?
Yes,
Oh
and
my.
also it's served in Iran. Yes, and we have a lot of beautiful place, unique architectures. If I would want to say some beautiful cities in my country, I would say uh, Isfahan, Shiraz. These are Persian names. I know it's
Teach me
really hard.
teach me one word in Irish. No, not Irish. Oh my God.
I,
Iranian? Is that the
no,
nationality for
Persian, Persian.
Persian? Okay, Persian. Okay. Teach me a word.
Uh, do you want to know about greeting?
Yeah, yes, yes. Like hello, maybe, or
Yes,
good
salam.
morning.
Yes, salam.
Salam, salam,
Salam. Yes. Salam means
salam,
hello.
salam. Oh, salam. It's close to shalom. Shalom means peace, isn't it? I think it's
I
Hebrew.
don't know. Shalom.
Shalom. Salam. Salam is hello, right?
Yes.
Salam. Salam.
And another sentence, if I would want to say, halet chatore. It means how are you? Halet
What? Halet?
halet chatore.
Halet chatore.
Yes.
How's my accent?
It's good. It sounds good.
Oh my god, I want to learn Persian now. I will start.
Yes. Yes.
Great.
Okay. That was a great session. I really learned a lot. Thank you so much. It
You're
was
welcome.
really, yes, it was really nice to see you.
Always nice
Oh,
to see you and meet you too.
great, great. And I don't want to hold you anymore. Thank you so much. Keep in touch and have a nice day.
You too. Bye bye. See ya.
Bye.